Greetings. Welcome back to class. This is Rebecca McCarthy, your instructor. Today I want to talk a little bit about quizzes in this course and also the final, and why I give quizzes throughout the course on your readings. We'll talk a little bit about how this particular assignment reflects the course outcomes for this class and all the different things that you can do in order to ensure that you have a good grade on your quiz. Matter of fact, there are lots of aids to help you. The reason I do quizzes in class in general is that it helps me assess whether or not you've taken the time to do the reading, to really think about the reading, and to critically think through the different concepts that are being presented. We do this, of course, in our discussion forums, but I also need to have a better understanding of whether or not you have completed this work, and using quizzes is one tool at my disposal for this. But I'm not really interested in students memorizing a great deal of information in order to regurgitate that information immediately. I want you to embark on a critical thinking process to really engage the information and understand it. That is why every chapter that you are asked to read, I also give you a reading outline with a series of questions and names and dates in which I want you to understand. All of these things that are in your reading outlines are on your quiz. So if I'm asking you to understand something about a particular person or about a particular theory, you'll want to take the time to fill out that reading outline as you do your reading in this class. If you do that, not only will you have a fantastic study aid for each one of the quizzes, but I allow students to use this information as they take the quiz. You can also use your textbook. But when you are dealing with a timed test, which this is, you don't want to have to search for information in your textbook. Rather, you want to know exactly where it's at so that you can get to the answer and you can answer the question immediately. That is one of the reasons why I ask you to fill out the reading guideline, and why I also allow you to use the reading guideline in your quizzes. If you do this, chances are you're going to get a good score on your quiz. If you don't do this, you're going to find that you'll run out of time and that you're not able to answer all the questions. So keep that in mind as you prepare yourself to take your weekly quizzes. Now, let's talk really quickly about how the course outcomes are reflected in this particular assignment, that is quizzes in the final. Well, these particular assignments actually reflect the following course outcomes: critical thinking and problem solving. Now, why does it do that? Well, we have to critically think through the information in order to answer the questions. Also, we are often assessed via quizzes on many different classes, and being able to understand what the quiz question is asking you to do and how to answer it is fundamental to being able to critically think through problems and to actively problem solve. Okay? The next one is technology. Of course, we are engaging online, so you are being asked to engage the technology, which is, of course, part of learning the technology. So you have to read very carefully the instructions on how to take these quizzes and how to answer these quizzes. Next, personal responsibility. Are you taking the quiz on time? Are you answering all the questions? Are you prepared for the quiz itself? The next one is information literacy. Have you done your homework? Not only did you read your textbook, but if you came across a word that you don't understand, did you bother to look that word up and understand how that word is relevant to the section that you are reading? If you didn't understand a section in the textbook, did you take the time to email your instructor and ask him or her for clarification? This is all part of information literacy. Finally, communication. And communication in this particular case isn't so much about you communicating to me, although that is true for short essay questions, which sometimes the quiz does have. But rather, are you really reading the instructions, doing what is being asked of you, and applying what you have understood through the reading of the instructions to taking the test or doing the assignment? Okay, so those are the outcomes that are relevant to this particular assignment. Now let's talk about the assignment itself. Each week, students are given a quiz that covers the main parts of their reading. Now, you are normally asked to read one or more chapters each week, and of course, you're going to not only want to read those chapters, but you're going to want to fill in or have prepared the reading outline and guideline along with reading your chapters. Next, you're asked to go ahead and complete this quiz by the due date. Now, the due date for most quizzes is Sunday, and it's usually due by midnight, okay? Now, sometimes due dates are different, so please take the time to look at when each quiz is due, especially when it comes to the final, okay? Because although most of the time quizzes are due by Sunday at midnight, it's not always the case, okay? So be aware of when that is due, and that goes again with your personal responsibility, which is a course outcome here. The quizzes, you are given 45 minutes total to complete the quiz. Most quizzes are only 10 questions apiece, so this should be more than enough time. However, if you're not familiar with the chapter, you will run out of time, I guarantee it. You're allowed to use your textbook while you're taking this quiz, and you're allowed to use your notes. I hope that you will spend a great deal of time on making notes because this is going to be your best aid in doing it. Late quizzes are not accepted unless there is a major issue, emergency that has come up and you have talked to me about it ahead of time. Students have a week to complete the quizzes, and that's a lot of time. So I want you to remember to take the time to organize getting the reading done, getting your note-taking done before you take the quiz, okay? So that's part of student responsibility as well. Now, you need to remember about grading that the quizzes are not going to be entirely graded once you hit the submit button. There are a lot of small and short essay questions included on this quiz, and I have to take the time to read them and get back to you. So again, I won't be grading these quizzes until Monday after the quiz is due, and again, please give me 48 hours to complete all the grading. This is a lot of reading for me to go through. Hopefully the grading will be done ahead of time, but that doesn't always happen, okay? Now, if you feel compelled that one of the questions you have missed, that it couldn't be so, that you feel that you absolutely answered it right, please do me a favor and really review your quizzes before you shoot me emails. I get a lot of emails on quizzes, and I am always happy to entertain your point of view of why you think your answer was correct and why the programmed answer was not correct. But before you do that, please review the question carefully and review the answer and try to figure out why you missed that question. If after you have gone through this process, you still feel that it is an unfair question or that I worded it incorrectly or whatever your issue may be, then email me. But investigate the problem ahead of time. And again, this goes with, if you will, one of the important outcomes of this class, critical thinking and problem solving. Go through the process of problem solving of why you missed that question before you engage me. And if you've gone through that process and you really still feel that there is an issue, please do send me an email. I am human and occasionally I make mistakes, right? And I'm always happy to address my own mistakes as well. And that is a good overview of the quizzes and basically the final for the class. The final is going to be made up of 24 questions total, covering every single chapter that you were asked to read or take a quiz on. And again, if you are using and incorporating the reading notes and the reading outline that I have provided for everyone, then you should be able to ace the final as well. If you have any questions, remember you can always contact me via email and I'll do my best to answer any inquiries I get. And that's it for right now. I'll see you in class and on the discussion boards, and have a pleasant day. Goodbye.